Hi, I'm Michael Heimos with Santa Monica's Morgan Wixon, here for a talkback conversation with Amy Coles. Now, I know audiences will recognize Amy from a lot of shows she's done at the Morgan Wixon, Legally Blonde, Addams Family, Little Women, Spelling Bee, and where I first met Amy doing chorus line about 10 years ago. Time has flown. She's one of my very favorite people. Hi, Amy. Thanks for doing this
Hi,
with
Michael.
me.
You're one of my very favorite people too.
Well, thank you. Well, I guess my first question is, how did you find your way to the Morgan Wixon?
I had seen a play there before. I think I had a friend in it, and I remember going, and I remember it because I remember the wood paneling on the side. And so when I went back, I was like, "Oh, it's the theater with the wooden side."
You know, I mentioned in my little intro about chorus line, you and I doing chorus line together. You played Diana Morales during the famous song, "What I Did for Love." Um,
Wish me luck the same to you, but I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love.
as a lot of people know, it was a very heavy dance show, and I'm wondering if dance. Did you consider yourself a dancer back then?
No, I probably always considered myself a singer before a dancer. And I certainly enjoy dance and love dance, but I didn't know if I was capable of doing a chorus line dance. And as you know, we did the original choreography, so it was a lot, but it was a good challenge. But
I mean, it was amazing. For those that didn't see the show, we had someone who had the original choreography book. They got a lot of dancers from AMDA, so there was a lot of really good dancers.
Real dancers,
yeah, young real dancers.
Young dancers.
Another one of my favorite roles that I saw you do was when you played Morticia in Addams Family. You and Eric Martin were like comic characters come to life. Tell me a little bit about that show.
That show was a lot of fun. Just to get to play characters that everyone kind of knows, but you still get to put your own self into it a little bit. Eric is one of my favorite people, and working with Eric is a blast, and you just work off each other and laugh and laugh and laugh. And then basically all of our friends were all in that show. So that was a really fun summer and a fun show. And audiences seem to like it because they're familiar with the characters. So that was a lot of fun, actually.
You said that Addams Family was a summer show. I know there's a group of people that love doing the summer show. What makes the summer show so special and fun to do?
I think traditionally the summer show is usually a big show. Usually there's a lot of dance numbers and there's a lot of parts and a lot of people involved. So I think that's fun because there's so much to do, and the big dance numbers are fun. And people kind of have time in the summer to do a show. And I think it's a lot of us keep coming back because we're all friends and we enjoy being together. And it's an opportunity to be with your best friends 6 days a week while you're in rehearsal and then all weekend. So I think it's a fun time of year where everything's a little more relaxed and the show is big and it's just an excuse to hang out with people you like.
So, how did Amy Coles get into theater to begin with?
My best friend and I think I was around 7, we used to do skits. I had this book of skits that we used to do. We would play all the roles and then we'd perform when her mom came to pick her up. So because of that, our moms found a theater similar to the Morgan Wixon. I'm from Northern California, so a theater up there that did children's workshops where they were original plays that incorporated pre-written music that they would write them, and then everyone, I think everyone was cast. If you know, depending on your age and your level and how many shows you had been in, maybe you had more lines or less lines, but it was pretty equal throughout. But that was sort of the basis and where I learned the basics of learning your lines and, you know, stage right, stage left, and professionalism of don't peek out behind the curtain and see who's in the audience and that kind of thing. And then as you get older, you kind of progress into doing licensed shows, the shows that had been on Broadway and that the theater licensed. And so I just grew up there, and that's what I did for my entire childhood and teenage years.
Did you immediately find a theater to start doing shows when you came to LA, or did it take some time?
No, I came to LA for school, so I was mostly focused on, you know, school and school things, and wasn't really looking outside of that until maybe it was probably the summer before my senior year. I did a show at Theater Palisades, and that kind of opened up, you know, oh, there's also community theaters available in Los Angeles. And so I did a little more research at that point once I was almost done with school.
What did you go to school for, and where did you go?
I went to USC, and I was in the music school. My major is music industry. So it's like a business degree focused on music industry. And then I had a little bit of performance too for vocal arts.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't realize it was so specific.
Yeah. At the time, it was one of the few schools in the country that had that kind of program. Now there's a few more, but at the time, it was one of the only ones.
And for people that don't know, you are in the music industry in your day job.
Yeah, I work for a music publishing company, and I license our catalog for television and film. It's my day job.
So how do you, day job, B job, how do you balance that with your love of theater?
It kind of balances itself. I like, you know, I go to work all day and do that, and it's something I enjoy and I'm passionate about. And then when I'm in a show, the rehearsals and that whole process is a creative outlet. That's something completely different than what I do at work. So I think it gives me the balance. And both things are creative and involve music and creative people and you know, creating some sort of end product. So I think they kind of go together, and then they're different enough that it's a good balance. Keeps me sane.
What has been your favorite role at the Morgan Wixon?
I probably have a couple different favorites for different reasons, but I think if I have to pick an overall favorite, it's probably Diana in Next to Normal. That show meant a lot to me personally, and that's one of the most difficult roles I think I've ever had the opportunity to play. So I personally, I felt proud of myself for the work that I put into that. So that's probably my favorite because of the challenge and the material.
And you carried the show. I mean, it was a big role for you.
It was a big role, yeah. And there's not a lot of other shows like that have that kind of female part. So that one was the special one.
It's also something very different than what the Morgan Wixon usually does as well, something so serious.
Yeah, it was serious material. It's about a woman with bipolar disorder and her family. And also the entire thing basically is sung, and that's something that can be difficult at the Morgan because we use the pre-taped music, so it can be a difficult task to do that kind of show. But we did it, so.
I guess my last question is, which show, or more specifically, which role would you love to do at the Morgan Wixon next?
Ooh.
The play reading committee is listening.
Well, I would love to do Reno Sweeney and Anything Goes. That's a good upbeat, fun, lots of tap dancing, fun, silly show. I also would really like to do Evita. Nobody does Evita, and I love that one. What else? Sideshow. I'd like to do Sideshow. No one does that one either.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. It was a lot of fun. And
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you on the stage of the Morgan Wixon again very soon.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you as well.
Have a great day.